This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Is Chevrolet trying to warm us up to the idea of a Corvette hypercar? In April, GM opened a new design center in the UK, and along with it, a sleek new Corvette concept developed by the new UK design team. But the company also revealed that it invited multiple design studios to come up with their own Corvette-inspired hypercars. And here's the second, which comes out of GM's design center in California. I find it interesting that the overall shape of the two concepts are pretty similar, but the details of the cars are vastly different between the two studios. The windshield of the California Corvette concept is massive and extends down far into the hood, while there's no window out of the rear. I think the interior looks like a futuristic fighter jet, but I also see little hints from the current Corvette as well. GM says that the rest of the Corvette concepts will be revealed throughout 2025, and we've probably got 3 more to go, since there's also design studios in Michigan, China, and South Korea. More automakers are reporting their second quarter earnings, and more automakers are complaining that tariffs in the U.S. are hammering their bottom lines. Kia said it sold 792,000 cars in Q2, which was up 4%, and pushed revenue 6% higher. But its operating profit and net profit sank by more than 23%. Amongst other things, Kia blames the tariffs for the profit hit. And it was a similar story at Hyundai. It sold more than 1 million vehicles over the last 3 months, up fractionally. Revenue hit nearly $35 billion, an all-time record. But its operating profit fell almost 16%, coming in at $2.6 billion, and its net profit of $2.3 billion was down 22%. You know, it's gotta be really frustrating to set record revenue and see your profit fall off like that. Hyundai didn't blame Trump's tariffs directly, but blamed it on the, quote, global trade environment. Meanwhile, Volkswagen didn't hold back. It blamed U.S. tariffs for its profit hit. The group sold 2.2 million vehicles in the quarter, essentially flat compared to a year ago. Revenue was also flat at 80 billion euros. But the group's operating profit dropped almost 33% to 3.8 billion, and its net profit fell more than 38%, coming in at 2.2 billion euros. Just to show you how much the situation has changed at Volkswagen, Skoda, one of its mass market brands, posted higher profits than Porsche, and it wasn't even close. Skoda's operating profit came in at 739 million euros, while Porsche made 154 million, and that wasn't the end of it. Porsche is warning its employees to brace for more job cuts and says that its business model is no longer working. Remember, up until very recently, Porsche was the profit powerhouse within the VW group. So to see it fall so far behind Skoda is not only shocking, it's worrying. And from the sound of it, Porsche is getting ready for some major surgery.
Developing today's vehicles, issues can happen in an instant. What good is knowing your problems without the data to solve them? Meet Wireless Neovi Cloud, your secure off-the-shelf solution, empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless Neovi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless Neovi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
BEV sales are up sharply in Germany, and the Volkswagen Group is leading the way. In the first half of 2024, sales of BEVs dropped 16% after the country eliminated incentives at the end of 2023. But according to Dataforce, BEV sales in Germany in the first half of this year were up 35% from a year ago, with automakers selling just under 250,000 electrics. And that easily outpaced the overall market, which was down 5%. The top 3 selling BEVs are all from the Volkswagen brand, the ID.7, ID.3, and ID.4 respectively. In fact, the VW Group has 8 of the 10 best-selling BEVs, including models from Skoda, Cupra, and Audi. The only 2 non-VW models on the list are the BMW iX1 in 7th place, and just behind it in 8th is the Tesla Model Y, which saw a 62% plunge in sales. The overall increase in BEV sales in Germany is impressive since those incentives have gone away completely. Mitsubishi has pulled entirely out of the Chinese car market. It stopped making vehicles there in 2023, and it just terminated a joint venture to make engines, which means it no longer has any operations in China. Mitsubishi blamed its decision on, quote, the rapid transformation of China's automotive industry, or in other words, it wasn't able to compete with China's shift to EVs. Mitsubishi first entered China in 1973 with medium-duty trucks, and by the early 2000s, its 2 engine joint ventures supplied 30% of the engines for vehicles built in China. But by 2022, Mitsu only sold 33,600 vehicles in the country, and along with the drop in demand for IC engines, the automaker decided to throw in the towel and leave the market altogether. As we reported earlier this week, the Russian auto industry is going from bad to worse. The country's largest automaker, AutoVAZ, whose sales are down 25% this year, says it's going to a 4-day work week to cut production. And now Russia's largest truck maker, KAMAZ, is also going to shorten its work week. It says the market for trucks 14 metric tons or larger, which is equivalent to Class 4 or 5 trucks in the U.S., has fallen 60% in the first half of the year. KAMAZ claims it has 30,000 trucks sitting around gathering dust because there's no demand for them, even though it's offering them below cost. Honda confirmed that the new Prelude, which goes on sale in the U.S. later this year, will feature the suspension, wider tracks, and Brembo front brakes from the Civic Type R. Unfortunately, that won't be paired with the Type R's 315 horsepower engine. Instead, the sporty-looking 2-door coupe will come with the same 200 horsepower 2-motor hybrid setup that's found in the Civic Hybrid. But it does come with a new feature called Honda S Plus Shift that's supposed to provide a more sporty driving experience. But here's a car that will be a real track star. These teasers show a new concept for Mercedes-AMG that's likely a preview of a new model for its AMG GT series of vehicles and will be powered by a V8 engine. The company says the vehicle is meant to, quote, set new standards and record times. Next Tuesday afternoon, we're going to hold another live Q&A session with me and John. We've got a couple of topics sure to stir up some controversy that we want to get into, but we also welcome your questions too. But you have to be a YouTube or Patreon member. This is one of the bonuses that we provide to those who directly support Autoline. And if you'd like to join in on the fun, please consider becoming a member too. But that's a wrap for this show and this week. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you have a great weekend.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Intrepid Control Systems. Over-the-air engineering boost your game. And by Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details, and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.